We can be ready, y'all. If everybody can go live, if that's fine. Maybe y'all go live, that's fine. We'll just start going once everybody else is live. My back's against the wall while my sins I confess. Addiction, homicide, and a past.
Make sure y'all ain't picking up none of us over here.
She wants.
Hi, Katie.
What's going on? What's up? You know, we back at it again. It's Monday night. Love Waits Chronicles, Pursuit with Purpose. It's your boy Chosin. Of course, we got Ms.P in the building. And we've got two special guests tonight. We've got a huge topic. Something that's been on my mind. I've heard different people talking about it. I see it on my timeline all the time, and it's the male versus female bashing. And for this particular topic, we needed two guests, man. So we've got, back for her second time, we got Miss Kim Newsom in the building. Hey. Miss Kimology herself.
Hey.
You all in the way, bro. And we got my bro right here, Mr. Lash King himself. Lady, he doing his thing with the lashes. 7230 Prospect.
7148.
7148. It's somewhere over there. Y'all find it. Anyway, Mr. Lash King himself, Jason Hill in the building. So we want to start off, man, with just the whole male versus female bashing that we see on social media. You see all kind of memes, dudes ain't this, men ain't that, and then you got men responding, females ain't this, women ain't that. And ultimately, man, if we all are working towards the same common goal of finding the one, and settling down and getting married and having a family and building a household, then something that has to stop is the bashing that we see continuously. You can't speak death into a group of people and then expect life to come out of it. So
exactly. Well, that's a word.
All right. So yeah, so we're gonna tackle that subject today. So Ms.P, I know that you had bashing pulled up. We want to actually get an understanding on what we're talking about. What exactly is bashing? And then we'll kind of get into the sources of it, why we feel like we see it as much as we do. Have some honest dialogue and conversation about what the real issue is, the brokenness, the bitterness, the anger, resentment that's built up, why it's built up, and then what we need to do to address it to change what we see. So, Ms. P.
Okay, the definition for bashing is being harsh or attacking one person, a group, or a subject. Literally, bashing means also, when we already know that, to hit or assault verbally. Then I'm going to go down to, it says, and it, let me go. And then another term, which switches over to defamation, which means to play dirty tricks against someone or ruin their reputation.
Oh, no.
So with bashing, I did a little bit more researching. You can actually sue somebody for bashing you.
Defamation of character.
Yeah.
Yes, you can, yeah.
I didn't know that.
So, but I kind of want to throw a twist in. So we're going to be talking about bashing, but then how about we also talk about when someone is speaking facts about somebody else?
We can definitely tackle when somebody's speaking facts about somebody.
I like that.
Okay.
Because is it really bashing if you're speaking facts about a person?
No, it's not.
It can turn into bashing depending on the way that you present it, because everything that we present should be presented out of love. So if we're coming from a resentful, angry, or bitter place,
but
then it can definitely be bashing.
No, because if you're projecting your voice, I'm going to project mine.
Okay, so should your actions be dictated by the actions of somebody else, or at the end of the day, should they be yours?
I mean, it's just natural to do that. I know, like, a soft answer turns away wrath. That's what the Bible says. But, you know, sometimes you're going to catch me in a human moment or on the wrong day, and I'm like, listen, you're this, okay? You have a mustache, ma'am. That's facts, because we can see it. You know, just stuff like that.
Okay.
What was you about to say before?
What? Angry women. Okay, see, y'all ain't okay. Women with mustaches are like the most angry.
I will say, if you want to look at it from a biblical perspective, it says that you're supposed to address the individual personally first.
Yeah, that's true.
So, if the discussion is male and female bashing, on social media, then I don't agree with that on any level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, if you in that individual's face and you say, well, I don't like this and I don't like that, and you're pointing out facts about that individual, I would say make sure that it's not from an aggressive position. I would say make sure that you're trying to inform them on who they should be versus who they are.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So let's break that down, because a lot of people say speaking facts is like, oh my God, you're fat. Like that's not not helpful.
That's coming off aggressive. Now, if
that's not helpful.
Those are facts. I mean, so if a person is overweight,
it's facts, but said in the wrong context, in the wrong place, can be embarrassing and humiliating, and can hurt.
So I think that goes back to speaking out of love, though. Even in correction, am I speaking out of love or am I speaking from an attacking perspective? Because if I'm attacking you with my words, at that point, it's bashing. Even if it's true, if I'm attacking you, my presentation of what it is I'm saying, if I ultimately want to be productive and get a productive outcome, then I need to be wise in how I present whatever it is to you.
It's true.
Period. And then if I'm going on social media with, you know what I'm saying, women ain't this, women ain't that, you know what I'm saying, and I'm definitely not being productive with anything.
Well, I feel like
you got something to say? I see the face.
Wait, okay.
I see the face.
you know, I mean, that comes from that comes from a personal place. You know what I mean? And social media is a good place to be personal, if you ask me.
You said it's the place to be personal?
I would say that. The reason I say that is because it draws out. It first reflects on who you are as an individual. Okay.
Makes you look real bad.
Or good, either way. You know what I mean?
If you're bashing, it never makes you look good.
If you're bashing, okay, if you have a strong voice, because if you really want to point it out, they say that Malcolm X was a basher. He's a racist. He was racist against anything that was not black. Initially,
I wouldn't say that he was racist. I would say that
initially he was. Initially, he didn't do nothing. There was a white lady who approached him and said, "How can I help?" He looked at her point blank and said, "You can't."
But that was his preference.
So if that's the case,
he didn't go off on her. He didn't call her her name. He just said that she couldn't help him. Right. So how was?
But you have to look at where it came. You have to look at where it came from. So if I speak my mind, if I say all black women are bitter,
I'm gonna laugh. Right.
No. Check it out though. If you understand the psychology behind it, y'all are.
So
what?
Explain.
What do you mean?
Listen.
Explain to me. I want to know. I want to explain.
I want to know how better.
The reason I say this is because you're conditioned to be such. You were courted, dated, intimate, whatever you want to call it, by a man who didn't understand how to be a man. So at that moment, you deal with it the best way you know how. Okay, so when you're backed into a corner, so when you're treated a certain way, that means that you're backed into a corner. So now you have to protect your heart. Okay. So at that moment, you become overly aggressive. You see what I mean?
That's not always true, though.
No.
It's psychological. It really is.
Then,
when they say there are a lot of women who are beautiful, but they are the most unapproachable women ever.
Why?
And when you really get beyond the surface of it, you realize that they've been hurt. They've had to fend for themselves. Chances are they raised their kids by themselves. So you come off as unapproachable and bitter. It's just what it is.
Unapproachable and I'm beautiful.
Because you've been treated wrong.
What? Why do y'all have?
There you go.
But men are like that too, so it's not like a...
No, I'm not unapproachable at all. Now, men, we're considered as dogs. Because we'll jump from woman to
not all men though.
But you...
I don't see all men as that.
Going back.
Okay, hold on. Let me jump in right there, though. Let me jump in right there because as a whole, you have certain individuals who don't look at all men like that, just like you have certain individuals that don't look at all women like that.
That's right.
But
select few.
But if we look at it as a whole, right? If we take a majority, the majority of women have reached a place where there's no faith or trust in men.
Because that's who they pick, who they attracted to.
For whatever the reason is, the first we have to address the fact that it's real. Like that is a mindset that unfortunately is in a lot of what we see in the music, in the movies, in the TV shows. I mean, if you go down the street, you get on social media, you see it consistently. So regardless of whether it was their daddy wasn't around, or the men that they picked were the wrong men to pick, or they didn't know what they were looking for, whatever the reasoning behind it is, ultimately the mindset is what needs to be attacked and changed. You know what I'm saying? And so we can talk about how we got to the place, but ultimately we need to find a resolution to get people out of that place, because we can't go back to having healthy, productive homes as long as this is a prevalent mindset on both sides of the fence. Because there's a ton of men who don't trust women. I've been hurt, I've been cheated on, I tried to be real, she took advantage of it, took my kindness for weakness, whatever it is.
I trust mine now.
But there's a large segment of men.
Come on, crack that. Say that one more time. You trust the one now?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one now.
So we need to take a minute and acknowledge her and say that you trust her, that you're good.
Well, yeah, we saw it. I mean, she ain't even.
She's on
It don't matter.
Yours?
It don't matter. You still
I
gotta
trust
say
you,
it.
baby. I do.
Hey, sis, you know you
But
trust.
we know the history, so
You know,
why I say
but
what I say.
ultimately, that is a mindset that has to be. I mean, it's a form of mental slavery, and it's something that ultimately has been passed down as well. There's certain mothers and grandmothers who feel a certain way based on what they went through, and then that mindset, that way of thinking, has been passed down. So now we're talking about generational curses and generations of bondage and mindsets that have to be broken. And then when everything that we see on TV, like, when's the last time, for every one movie or TV show that shows men in a good light, I can name you 10 that shows us as dogs or thugs or abusing women and taking advantage of them and not being fathers. Like, this is something that is pumped into us on a daily basis. And vice versa.
Right.
Generally,
I was gonna say-
the woman is the victim when you look at TV.
Not